Hello, everybody. Hey, and welcome to this channel or whatever. What oracle deck can I use? I could use the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, but I ain't feeling it. Oh, this chat thing always do this. So, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna pull some cards until I feel like not pulling cards anymore. I just We got some chips and sauce. I wanted to eat I got some spaghetti, some black eyed peas, some cornbread. I could make some broccoli just to have something green with all I did. But we got some chips and salsa. I didn't feel like warming up the spaghetti and the black eyed peas, so I just went for the chips and salsa. And I had some jarritos, fruit punch. It was so good. Usually I get the humex, the humex. Usually I get the humex. But anyway, I'm like, I want to watch something with this meal. The meal was chips and salsa. I want to watch something with this chips and salsa. And I was like, Left Behind. Why not? I haven't seen Left Behind since I was a kid in church. And we could have went with Megiddo, but we ain't going all the way to Megiddo or however you pronounce it. So I'm watching Left Behind. Honestly, I'm kind of shook right now. I'm honestly shook. I feel shook. And then it reminds me of that it's like the difference between like light and dark versus light and shadow, and it's like not everything that obscures the dark is the light. And I'm just like, whoo, lords. I don't want to be here for that. It's like I don't need that in my life. And there was this one, ooh, the Dreamer of Words and the Lady of Cups. This one dude who was like, well, God, like, please tell me what I can do. But I'm just like, please, like, let me skip all that. Let me miss all that because I'm not interested. But it was interesting. There was some things they were talking about, like a global currency. And I've heard every now and then people talk about, a globalized economy being one of the signs of the end times. But if you look at Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and how everybody's buying into it willingly, then it's like, okay, well, what's the difference between this and that? Like, it looked the same to me. And especially like with this capability to grow or whatever, to become more money, it's like, oh, if you buy into it now, you'll get even more money later. I don't know. It feels like that's why we just got another divine. The chariot. So what I'm doing is I actually want to start with the SKT and then move over to the mystical dreams. The SKT I can understand a little bit more than the mystical dreams. Potentially. That's what that face means. Like, and a card from the mystical dreams already came out. But I want an SKT first. And then if I feel like some other cards, I'll pull them. Because I've been away for a while. Oh. Eight of Swords. This is Jupiter and Gemini. Jupiter is about to enter Pisces. So it's about to square this energy. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot. This is unsettled. I don't know if it's the movie that I just watched. I feel like I gotta watch Left Behind 2 now. Not tonight, or maybe later. I don't know. It effed me up. Cause I'm always like, why is it that like ending world hunger and world peace and like why are they bad things? Why is a globalized economy inherently evil? Like, I mean, our economies are so interconnected anyway already, right? It just make it easier to take currency from one place to another instead of currency exchange rates and things like that. But what do I know about economics or anything? But when this came out, it feels like the hands of the divine are tied. Not in any forced way. It's not that the divine is powerless, but there's a very like karma. I'm going to use the witch's tarot too. It's a very karma, wheel of fortune, judgment type of energy where it's like, well, everything's already been set in motion. So what happens now happens now. Eight of Swords at the cut. Look at that. You see that? Eight of Swords at the cut with the Empress. Woo! Okay. Excuse me. All right. Let me get like. I see the Seven of Wands. I'm not going to take it. The Seven of Wands is the minor strength card. Seven of Wands is minor strength. I think the King of Wands was pre-strength. Or was the Knight of Wands pre-strength? I think it was the King of Wands. I remember the Seven of Wands was minor strength. But yeah, it feels like maybe Temperance is at the bottom of the deck. And that's who this is. That's Temperance tied up behind those eight swords. It's the angel. The hands of the divine are tied. It's almost like we're in a period. Well, maybe not. It's taking it for resonates. We're in a period of consequence right now. So whatever actions we've been taking, it's a season of like repercussion. The card over here is the sorcerer. 15 devil energy. Feels like the hands of the divine are tied, and then here's devil energy and the sorcerer. Bottom of the deck is Temperance. The card at the top is the sun. But the sun is looking over at the sorcerer. And again, it's kind of sort of carrying that energy. Not everything that obscures the dark is light. And the Four of Pentacles is right here with the Two of Pentacles. So this is a Six of Pentacles energy. But if we're not giving, then we won't receive. Like it'll bring that into balance. So if there is a lack, maybe there's nothing being given. Oh, goodness. Why did I watch that? I don't know. Bottom of the deck over here is Temperance. Temperance is at the bottom of this deck as well. So Temperance is everywhere, but here it's tied up. Now, how I am sort of interpreting this is the most divine or the least conscious. This is the space where our consciousness attempts to interpret the divine with less restriction, aka like dreams and stuff, right? This is a fully conscious, like fully this side, fully grounded. Fully grounded, it looks like light. In this dream space, things get weird. And on the spiritual side of it, it's like the divine is like, this isn't the divine. I don't know. Not everything that obscures dark is light. I think that's why it's so important. What was this? Oh, the moon. The moon was beneath the sun at the top of the deck. Oh, look. It's like we have a sun and a moon here in the sorcerer card. Excuse me, now I'm getting tired. And there's also a moon up here, right? I don't know. I feel like there's some weird stuff happening. Ever since it was that message of like, I wasn't gonna pull these, but let's go for the year two angels. It's like, don't forget everything that you've been learning. As life continues to happen, it could wax worse or wax more beautiful. Don't forget everything that you've been learning. Don't forget where you've been. Don't forget your healing. Because this card came out recently and it didn't have a negative message. I mean, I guess not all of them always do, right? What's also interesting is that the Eight of Swords is the only minor card here. But again, this Eight of Swords is the angel from Temperance. It's a sort of emotional manipulation in this, and maybe even a spiritual manipulation because of that cup there. I just feel weird after watching that movie. I'm like, But you know, if we have that personal relationship with the divine, we would be able to differentiate. Top of the deck is a Bacchial, Angel of Sagittarius. Bottom of the deck is Asmodel, Angel of Taurus. So here is the current south node. Here is the next north node. And I feel like that's important because so the nodes are going to shift in January, I think. I put this here. Now I got all four corners occupied. And Shatiel, Angel of Silence, is at the bottom of the. Shatiel was under Asmodel, Angel of Silence. Again, the Angel of Silence, and we got this Eight of Swords. And again, it's not that the divine can't, it's just that it's like, so anyway, the nodes will shift at about January. And so everything is cyclic. Excuse me. I don't know why I just got so tired. Everything is like cyclic, right? The story already started. This is the next chapter. I don't know if it's necessarily going to reach a conclusion. Will we enter a fixed nodal axis? Because the sun progresses everything direct, progresses direct, but the nodes progress retrograde. And so as we're moving forward, it's cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable. But in reverse, it's cardinal mutable fixed, cardinal mutable fixed. And so it's like, it feels like it creates a space of disconnect that anything can kind of sort of slide into. And again, not everything that obstructs the dark is the light. The two angels that came out, the first one that came out is the Penamue that's been missing, girl. I was like, oh, okay, like welcome out. And then Azazel, Angel of Sacrifices, came out. Oh, and Sagittarius is here. In that Sagittarius was the last sign that I read. And in that, it was this question of like, I'm pretty sure it was Sagittarius. Of no, it was the one with the Five of Cups in it. Death and the Five of Cups. That was Libra. I think it was Libra. But is that right for Libra? Or was that Sagittarius? I feel like it was Sagittarius. But if I try to think of the cards, I feel like it's Libra. No, because Sagittarius had a whole bunch of cards. So maybe it was Libra. Anyway, it just came out. It was a question of whether or not we're sacrificing the right things to get what we want. Let's read these. Oh, I kind of love this because Pinamua is sitting under the sun. The two brighter cards, and then Azazel is sitting under the moon with Sagittarius and Taurus on the outside. Sagittarius on the side of the sun looking that way, and then Asmodel Taurus looking forward, I think. So let's read these. Or let's not. Oh, now they're flipped. It reminds me of the card that Queen Cup pulled in her latest live. The one that was like, if you don't have any faith, now would be an excellent time to get some. But it's like, if you don't have a more personal relationship with the divine, now would be the perfect time to start establishing one. I'm just like pulling everything. I'll get a Diceology card to sit on top of this. Oh, maybe I'll start another live and I'll just use these four to pull a message. Maybe I'll do a few of them. Okay, so the Two of Diamonds just came out, and the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. The Two and the Four of Pentacles. We just saw. It's a forced uprising, an ancient word that stirs ancient things to life. Whispered. Bottom of the deck is the Jack of Spades in reverse. The beginnings of self-realization, caring for one's mental space, and preparing to welcome something big. 32, 14, 2, 7, 2, and 3. I'll put these up here because that feels like that makes sense. This is an interesting energy. It spans from the earth to the heavens and kind of goes a little bit beyond it. And for something to go beyond heaven, it almost has to predate even the creation of the angels. It almost reminds me, I just saw the Ouroboros for Cancer. And in the Ouroboros card in the Mystical Dreams Tarot, it still has legs. So I was like, oh, like this is something from a long time ago because the snake ain't had legs at least since Eden. Since Eden, and then there's that snakes in Eden. Girl, I just watched Left Behind and it effed me up. But I'm about to shut this down and then I'll come back and do something new. Excuse me. But dude was like, we've ever since the snake tempted Eve in the garden, man has been trying to get back to Eden, and these are the snakes in the garden, and I'm about to take care of them. Bang bang. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh." And then he was like, "It's so tragic that what their greed has done. It's so tragic what their greed has done." and then basically rewrote apparently reality. And the only person that knew the truth was the person who, of course, formed the relationship with God. And it's a good thing he did it when he did it. He did it right before that meeting too. So it comes to us in the time that we need it to. But it's like the real snake was him. And again, not everything that obscures the dark is light. And that's why sometimes it's like when you have that relationship, it's like, see, like something is just like a little off. Something just a little ain't right. But on the most conscious level, it's the sun energy. But then the moon's right there. I feel like that could be that little bit of like when something isn't quite right, but we sort of buy into it anyway. Cause it's like, oh, well, like they're mostly right or they seem like a good person. So, why not? Right. And with the chariot over here, it's like your headache is officially gone as of today. You were dehydrated. I watched it on the fire stick. Yeah, that's why I try to stay hydrated. That's why, like, if I drink any alcohol, I get a headache pretty much immediately because I'm just naturally dehydrated. I'm more hydrated now that I drink water. But with this chariot here, it's like things are proceeding. So he got the message. He was told everything that was going to happen, and he tried to prevent it, and it ended up happening anyway. He thought it was going to play out in one way. He thought he was doing the right thing. Turns out, the real villain girl was the one you was trying to save the whole time. The real snake was the one who shot the other snakes and then wiped everybody's memory of it. But, of course, you start the movie with the rapture, where, the people who believed were taken immediately. Like they were taken before anything out of the ordinary really started happening. They were taken right before a certain plan was put into motion. And the taking almost made the plan easier to come to fruition. When everything started falling apart, people were in a more vulnerable space to buy into anything. And again, not everything that obscures the dark is light. And it got real dark, unexpectedly, real quick. And in an attempt to grasp onto things. But it's like, if nobody knows what's happening, really, then the people who would have known they was gone. That's why I'm like, if anything like that happened, just take me, please. I ain't trying to be here. That's on y'all. We all make our own choices. I make mine. Y'all make y'all's. Light and truth. Luke said veritas. No, et. Yeah, light and truth. Luke's et veritas. I've been hearing so much, or I've heard it a few places lately, that the light is truth. And so when people say love and light, by light, they mean truth. And if the light is truth and the dark is an untruth, or let's say it's something that we're not aware of, then it's like not all information is necessarily accurate. Not everything that can explain something is the correct explanation for it. But as humans, sometimes it's the comfort in knowing or believing that we know that we just sort of buy into it, even if it doesn't fully make sense. We take it all. It's like, oh, if this resonates more than 50.0001%, I'll take the whole thing. And it's like, girl, no, please don't. Or try to force it. It's like, if it doesn't work, It's not something that you have to force. I'm pretty sure the nodes shift in January, but also apparently, I don't know if it's the accuracy of this app or if it's who is you. Hello? I don't know if it's the accuracy of the app or if the planets are speeding up or something, but there are certain things that are happening like sooner than I thought they would be. Like I thought I was only going to get one Saturn return, but apparently now Saturn's decided to retrograde on my degree. I'm like, why? Why? But I'm not afraid of a Saturn return. Like I do what I need to do. Girl, y'all can't just be why people just be accepting anybody friend request on Facebook. I be getting these random friend requests. And then it's like, you got one mutual friend. I'm like, oh come on. This person only has 24 friends. Like, you think this real? Wait, I know this dude. Is he real? I might have to reach out to my cousin. Anyway, sorry. Um, and again, it takes me back. It's like back in the day when people was like killing people and stuff, and people still kill people and stuff. And it's like if someone or something presents itself as divine, but it lacks all of the qualities or any of the qualities of the divine, then is it really the divine? Like if it doesn't support universal love or universal well being, then is it really the divine? If its judgment so harsh and so critical that, it threatens the very livelihood of people and you don't bat an eye because, I don't know, whatever you believe, then like is that really the divine, or is that some kind of warped hierophant type thing? This card is interesting though. So many friend requests just staring at you, majority man. Yeah, I just don't accept them. Did I say something about judgment? I was like, this is a judgment karma energy because it feels like this, like, that's why the hands of the divine are tied right here. That's why the angel is behind bars. It's because it can't liberate us from what is our consequence. Because just like our free will and our right to choose is respected, so too are those consequences respected and acknowledged. Apocalypse is right there behind the chariot. And the reason why I picked this card up is because it's like that ancient thing, the ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered. And this is like things are already moving. The magician, the magus is behind Apocalypse with the Hector, the Five of Swords right here. And with the head of the Papal Bull, the Five of Swords acts on behalf of that old Hierophant energy. As above, so below in the Magus. But I kept seeing that one card. The vision without is the same as the vision within. And then left behind, those who believed in God, those who held that vision within, that's the vision that they experienced. So that vision became heaven. For everybody that was left behind, their vision became what the earth turned into. And I don't know if that's like, timelines are going to separate type of thing. Maybe one version of earth actually became heaven on earth, like a real heaven on earth and not that marketed ploy heaven on earth. Like they kept saying like 7 years of peace. And I'm like, if I wasn't connected or whatever, In my mind, it's like, how are you proposing peace, but you're already putting a time limit on it? Like, why is it only 7 years of peace? What you gonna do after 7 years? Like, hello? And maybe people here are like, oh yeah, peace. Okay, yes, like that's what we want. But it's like 7 years. What happens after the seventh year? Hello? No. See, this already don't sound right to me. Because now you telling me that you're plotting. You're telling me that you're scheming. You're telling me that this is a ploy. You want me to buy into something for 7 years and then what? I lose my investment? I don't know. Emergence of cicadas again. Yep, after 17 years. Russell's been talking about it. I saw something on Twitter. It said trillions of cicadas. Trillions. In like 15 states. Any day now. They're about to pop up. And I'm like, man, if I think about it, I didn't really hear too many cicadas last year or the year before that. It's Brood X. So I'm like, no, I need to go over to the east or the west. No, I think it looked kind of like Midwesty and towards the east. So I need to go out west because I can't with all them cicadas. Mm-mm. But I feel like there's also, again, in all of that, there's a need not to worry for those who don't have to worry, right? Because we're talking about consequence right now. So if the actions that you've taken warrant positive consequence, then you'll be fine, right? It's like if you punch in and punch out. Time cards. That was the word I couldn't think of earlier. Time cards. If you've been clocking in and clocking out and actually doing your work, then you're gonna get paid. You don't have to pray for a paycheck, girl. Like you did the time, you're gonna get the money. If you didn't, or if you like you clocked in and you clocked out, but you weren't at work, like somebody I know right now, if you get found out, not only may you not get that paycheck, also depending on what the if they do an investigation and depending on what comes up in that investigation, you may have to pay something back. So, but again, that's consequence. Of course, while we think we can get over or get away with something, we'll do it. I don't know why this is in reverse though. The beginnings of self realization, because it isn't self. I don't want to put any more cards on this. I already got 5 decks on the table. And I don't even have a deck that I would want to grab. I kind of want to grab the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, but I don't want to put Ganesha in this. It reminds me of the title of that video. It reminds me of what popped into my head. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. It's like, do you trust the work that you've done? And every time, every time I've heard somebody talk about going to heaven, it's always that, well done, my son or my daughter. Well done. Or it's like, well, what did you do? Or what are you doing? And there's so much temperance here. That's another thing that's interesting. Oh, look, there's the Six of Pentacles. Here's the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Cups. Here's the Six of Pentacles with the Two and the Four of Pentacles behind this temperance right here. And then the Two of Diamonds is the card that came out of the Diceology. Anyway, I thought that that was cool. But it's like in the conscious space, temperance. In the dream space, temperance. In the spiritual space, the Chariot. And I'm not surprised that it's that way because more often than not, things move in the spirit before they move anywhere else. But it's almost that energy of like, if you're in a space of waiting, like this energy is already moving. But also at the same time, with apocalypse, with judgment, with karma. Oh, look, it's judgment day, the rapture, girl. Left behind. Okay, that makes sense. But it feels like it's moving in a different direction. Right? It almost feels that with like timelines and how timelines work, it's just like you pop out of one timeline and you pop into another timeline. Again, it's like popping into that timeline where things actually work out. So let's actually do this again and get one more of these to see what the other side may look like or what the other version would look like. Bottom of the deck is the Eminence, Nine of Orbs. The card that came out is the Ebony Shield, Queen of Orbs, Power and Authority of Earth. What I love about this is an energy of it's like the fruit being returned. And it was the from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's why it's like if we know better, then we're responsible. For whatever we know, we're responsible. We're held responsible. It's like when Adam and Eve were naive, if they didn't know any better, how could they be punished? But once they ate the fruit, they knew. It feels like there's a maturing that's happened here. And now the fruit is being returned. It feels like if there's like a Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider type movie and there's an artifact or a relic that was stolen, gold that was stolen, Pirates of the Caribbean question mark, when it's returned, that's when the curse is lifted. But the greed of man will have it to never return the thing in the first place. The greed of man will see man drive himself literally to the brink before they even think about returning what was wrongfully taken. The Color Purple song speaks to me. God's trying to say something. I don't even remember that song. And honestly, it feels like this fruit is internal. It's inside of us. Bottom of the deck now is the Nine of Cups. What? We got the Nine of Pentacles over here. We got the Nine of Cups over here. The card that came out is the Lord of Swords. I love that the Lord of Swords came out. The Lord of Swords is basically the new Lord of Pentacles because the Lord of Pentacles was the one coming out. But I got this egg today. I've had this egg forever. But it reminds me of this up here. And I just picked it up off the floor before I did that. I was like, that reminds me of the thing from the Lord of Swords a little bit. Also, it kind of looks like my pink Saturn. A little bit. Not really. Kind of. Well, yeah, because it has striations, right? And that bright ring. Saturn being the planet of karma, again, karma is a restorative force, right? If you push on something, it pushes back on you. It's the pushback. Whatever you do, you will receive something. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not accountable. You will receive accordingly. And there we go. So far we have the Ebony Shield, Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords. That energy came out for Aries. I think Aries had the Lady of Pentacles and the Lord of Swords at the bottom of the deck. But honestly, I feel like when we trade in one fruit, it feels more like an exchange. But this new fruit is the one that's given. It's not taken, it's not stolen, it's freely given because of whatever this Lord of Swords has attained and achieved. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember that now. That's my mom's favorite movie. I remember that scene, and I remember them walking in and singing. I don't remember the words though. Let's see. Who is this? Who are you? The Star! I was thinking about the Star between the Magician and the Chariot, 1 and 7. I was like, oh, that looks like a 17. Under that is the Knight of Wands. So we got the Erudite, Nine of Orbs, the Nine of Cups, the Knight of Wands. That's Earth, Water, and Fire. And then we got the King of Swords, the Lord of Air, Lord of Swords. Who are you? I'll take you. Now the bottom of the deck is Phanuel, Angel of Truth. Top of the deck is Remiel, Angel of Visions. Oh, look, Angel of Visions and the Angel of Truth. A Vision of Truth. Maybe. Which Remiel is this? Oh, girl, hold up. The Shepherd of Good Graces, a shining light in the distance, calling us forward into the future. The greener pastures beyond the next hill are hard to see. There we go. Sometimes we need reassurance that things will get better. Something is coming and it's beautiful. I feel like I've seen that coming of spring card for some reason. So the star, the sun, and the moon are all on the table. Oh, we got 3 songs. 3 songs. We got 3 angels. Aziraphale, angel of song, Barkiel, angel of Pisces, and Tamiel, angel of the unseen. It's interesting that we get the angel of the unseen and the angel of Pisces because Pisces is the closest energy to the unseen. Both Pisces and Aries are the 2 closest energies to the unseen. Aries because they just left. Pisces is because they're about to go there. And then we have the angel of song right there. There is a slight energy of like redemption here. Because again, it's coming through in the energy of like returning the fruit that was basically stolen, and in exchange, maybe being given a new fruit. And Lucifer was the angel of music, or he was associated with music, also associated with the snake. But in this angel of song, with the angel of Pisces and the angel of the unseen, it came out again earlier. It's like even the snake had his path. First, it lost its legs, but then later it gains its wings in the Quetzalcoatl, or the Quetzalcoatl. And it feels like there's an energy, it feels like a toxic energy that we pick up. And the person who like distributed the toxic energy, or the energy that distributed the toxic energy in itself, finds salvation. And it feels like it tries to offer it in some way to those who were misguided or who were led astray under it, but it's their choice to continue that energy or to let it go. It's the 5 of Hearts and the 5 of Cups, both in reverse. Um, it's an energy that's like if someone tries to apologize to you and you don't accept their apology, and they move on, right? And then they turn themselves around and then they come into their next cycle, but you choose to hang on to that bitterness, that hurt, that pain, and whatever. And so it's like you continue to poison yourself with that toxicity all the while that person releases themselves. And if you're the type of person that likes to keep an eye on people, then it's like they start to experience better and better and better in life. And then you're like, well, that's not fair that they did this to me and now they're doing this and they're doing that and their life is moving forward. Like, what gives? And it's like, well, they owned up, they did what they needed to do, and now they're in a new cycle. You're the one keeping yourself stuck in the old one. The Five of Hearts, where passion meets determination, going the distance, and a need for discipline. So this is an undisciplined energy that isn't willing to make. See, but that doesn't fit this though. Why would this be in reverse? Where passion meets determination, going the distance, and a need for discipline. It feels like undisciplined. And it's not willing to do anything. It wants more than it's willing to work. And then with the Five of Diamonds over here, it's nearly perfect harmony, a crystal clear night of charted stars and triplets in the third trimester. Both of these cards in reverse. So maybe there was a period and a point in time where nothing was being done. And the Nine of Spades is here under this Five of Diamonds, which would be the third nine on the table. Only nine I haven't seen is the Nine of Swords. No, the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands was behind the Two of Pentacles last time in the Witch's Tarot. But we have the Knight of Wands. This goes up here. Where passion meets determination, going the distance, and a need for discipline. I was going to say determination and discernment, but discipline is the word that's here. 78, 4, 10, 6, 1, and 2. Let's see. We got some. Oh, what's this? Oh. We got some. Got some Earth, some Third Eye, some Root, some Capricorn, some Emperor, and some. Here it is. I literally put it first, so I don't have to look for it every time I open up to see what these numbers mean, and I forget that I put it first every time. I made it so easy and convenient for myself, but I still forget. Aries. This is Aries. And again, this energy came out for Aries, and I just did Aries. And I already forgot what it was about. It was something about not needing to be who we think we need to be in order to get something done, but being ourselves and finding our own unique and authentic way to go about it. It's this Knight of Wands right here that really throws this for a loop. But again, I'm not surprised, I guess, because this feels like an exchange. It feels like the mastery of something that's more elementary and the initiation into a more graduate level challenge. And so it feels like, there was the standard meaning for everything that we've learned and discovered along our journey. Now we're about to take that even further, everything. And you have to reach a certain point. You have to reach this Nine of Pentacles space to even begin to be able to see and comprehend things in the way that you will. And so it's still not over completely. The Lord of Swords is like it's a completion of understanding where we were. Let's take this another step higher. Oh, I just saw the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Oh, a card flipped over. Now the bottom of the deck is the Stronghold of the Grail. Page of Cups energy. Bearing a message. The card that came out is the Moon. In this deck, it's the Necromancer. So the first card was an ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered. Here, the gateway is being opened for that thing to return. And this, it's almost like the emissary, or it becomes a messenger from this dimension or from this sort of space. And it's Pisces. I said like the closest to the veil, Pisces and Aries. Pisces in a way where maybe they know it a little bit more. Aries in a way where it's like it's their natural default. They're just naturally like that. Which is why if Aries tries to be something or someone else in order to appear a certain way, they can lose almost the very thing that makes them divine. Okay, work. Well, the Nine of Cups, I guess. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. I said Six of Cups for the Pisces, but it's the Six of Pentacles. So now the Nine of Cups is on the table. 9 is half of 18. Page of Cups, Nine of Cups. So we have the opportunity for the 10th cup. Right, now let's see what comes out here. Ooh, okay. Six of Pentacles almost with a whole stack of cards. Hierophant? Nah. It didn't come out, but I'm gonna flip this over. Eliminate bias. Ooh, okay. Am I taking all of these? Sure. The King of Wands wanted to make an appearance. Bottom of the deck is still the Knight of Wands. But the card that made noise was the King. And then we have the Hermit, the Nine of Cups again, and the Four of Wands. I love this because we have two Nine of Cups energies and the Moon. These are Pisces. I don't know what planet it is in Pisces. This is the second decan of Pisces, and we have Pisces. We have 18 cups and Pisces. Like 9 plus 9 is 18, and it's the same element, right? The Hermit, the Knight of Cups, the Four of Wands. This Four of Wands, if you see right there where the ribbons meet, it's giving me the exact same energy as the pillar that came out yesterday. And it was the pillar, the universe, and the outlaw. This time, it's the Hermit, the Nine of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Hey Zelda, how you doing today? Did I see you earlier today, Zelda? Or was that yesterday? I don't remember. And the King of Wands is here. The King of Wands, again, holding that space from yesterday with the Ruler of Wands, where we have our ego in check. And because we have our ego in check, we're no longer as quick to do things that would compromise our ethics or our morals. The King of Wands came out, but it's the Knight of Wands at the bottom. I think it's the Knight of Wands. Oh, with the Ace of Cups. Aww. And the Queen of Cups is under the Ace of Cups, which is it's pre-Empress energy. You uploaded a new video. Nice. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm doing pretty well tonight. Thank you. The Knight of Wands has learned to give an F. So that confirms what I'm about to say. I feel like it is an energy of a King of Wands. From an earthly perspective, it's like more of a King of Wands. But in reality, it's a Knight of Wands. Like to spirit, it's a Knight of Wands. Because we're always wanting. Like we're never done wanting. We're never done desiring. But it's the challenge for the whole suit of wands that we not be so concerned with what it is that we want that we will act against other people without too much of a real care or worry. And with this King of Wands, it feels like this is the one that's gotten his ego under control enough to the point where he doesn't like, you ain't robbing Peter to pay Paul anymore. But we're still in that Knight of Wands energy. So we got a vision of the truth. Let's see if this comes out. Excuse me. I need to eat some actual food. Oh, them mint Oreos have been so good. I'm like, they taste like their mints. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh. Armoros, Angel of Undoing. Bottom of the deck is the second Pinamue. The first Pinamue is already out. Top of the deck is... Oh, Duma, Angel of Dreams. Okay. I actually remembered. I'm like, let me look at the image and see if I remember who that is. It's Duma. So hungry. You get off in 10 minutes and nothing to eat. Well, hopefully you can get something to eat on the way back. Get some food if you can. Duma and Pinamue. There's an energy here of reclaiming, I want to say. And I said it was King of Wands on Earth, but Knight of Wands to Spirit. But your appetite is irregular. You didn't know a lot today. They're just had some noodles. My sleep has been irregular. Let me stop. It's a good thing that I'm getting tired. Actually, let me make sure I switch everything over to that nightlight mode because I'm starting to get tired and I ain't trying to be up all night. So let me reduce the blue light real quick so I can actually go to bed after this. Ah. My sleep schedule is finally getting back on track. I was like up until like 4, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I'm like, what am I doing? This is the curfew. This is the Angel of Dreams. There's a wet moon right here. And then Pinamue is at the bottom of the deck. What hath been wrought on the fiery hilltop, these sculptures of men whose names the angels forgot, is Pinamue. Languishing aloft, the master of dreams rests in repose. Among the stars it makes its nest, swathed in silver and gold, and untold truth is to be spoken aloud, lost to the chiming of a bell. And then Armoros. Armoros removed the monuments that bound their will to men. After seeing Barakiel fall, they no longer wanted to take the risk. After the disarmament, the Watchers imposed a curfew, restricting anyone other than their brethren and offspring from moving freely after dark. The punishment for violating this law was so severe that few attempted it. Even as their grip on control tightened, their insecurity grew. And so the resolution to this is to... I almost put it on the TV, honestly. I pulled up YouTube on my TV and I almost pulled it up, but I didn't. So it's to lessen control and increase security. And I think that's why this King of Wands is here. The King of Wands doesn't have the insecurities of the Knight of Wands. The King of Wands doesn't have the weaknesses of the Knight of Wands, the fears of commitment and the fears of attachment and things like that. That's why he can carry the same element he can still get what he wants, but he goes about it in a different way. We have the Hermit, the Nine of Cups, and the Four of Wands. This is an internal journey that leads to a happiness within first, and then an external celebration or something that happens to mark that for everybody. Something is, who is this? The Nine of Hearts? A blip of light at the heart of a black hole, progenitors in a primordial pool. Yeah, see that ancient word that stirs ancient things to life again, it feels like it's actually like they're starting to wake up here. It almost feels like Inception, like you go so deep within the dream that what you find is like you. But then after you go that deep into the dream, you still have to make your way out. But once you go so deep, it's like it makes it easier for you to get lost in it. It makes it harder for you to not just blend in with what everyone. It makes it harder for you to not just blend in with what everyone else in the dream is doing. Yeah, I mean the Knight of Wands, especially the first time I read the Pride Tarot, Knight of Wands card, it completely changed my viewpoint of the Knight of Wands. I was like, what? They're like the Knight of Wands is the one who moves forward with passion and power, and who champions themselves or champions anyone who needs like a voice. I was like, oh, okay, well, shoot. Now the last Knight of Wands was that more typical Knight of Wands energy. I thought it was better, but it turns out it was still only interested in self, and that's why those last cards came out in reverse. And that's how I knew I wasn't done. Okay, that's all. G. Can I get a card now, please? Please and thank you. Are all of these in reverse? All of these are in reverse because I turned the deck all upright. LOL. There we go. What you got for me? Oh, oh. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, whoop, I took more than I wanted. So the Five of Clubs, the day of longest light or night, a garment for all occasions, and filling a gap. I love that filling a gap is here because the card that came out is a displacement replace. So we have a displacement replace, two of spades, unintended and unforeseen consequences, and a need for wisdom. The eight of spades, rearrangement and coagulation, seeing the truth of the self, distorted creations abound. So together, these are a 10 of swords, 10 of spades. And then the last card that was face down is the Jack of Spades that we saw at the bottom of the deck in reverse when that Two of Diamonds came out. An ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered. Here is the beginnings of self realization, carried from one's mental space and preparing to welcome something big. Now we're actually in the space of getting it rather than just feeling it before. Beginnings of self realization with this necromancer and the Page of Cups. And here's the Dynasty and the Page of Pentacles and the Hangman, the Outlaw. This is the Outlaw. The Outlaw. No, it was the Pillar, the Universe, and the Outlaw. Well, here's the Outlaw again. Behind the Outlaw is the Shining Dew, Knight of Wands. And this is Lightning in the Pyre. Lightning was Barakiel. Here in Armoros, when Barakiel, Angel of Lightning, fell, that's when the curfew was put into place. It's almost like a Ragnarok energy. When Baldur was, hey D, when Baldur, how are you doing today, was killed, it set into motion the events that led to Ragnarok and the rebirth of Baldur. Here's everything being put on hold after the death of the Angel of Lightning. And after all of this, like we're going to send somebody to Earth, blah, 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 blah. The Dynasty, which is the works that we complete in this lifetime, then It's like that message goes back to the divine and it's released from its grave. That's the return of Barakiel. It's the end of the curfew. It's the return of Balder. It's the end of Ragnarok. It's the return of the thing that was lost. An ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered, and the beginnings of a self-realization in reverse. Now the self-realization is upright. It came out face down. And it's all spades. Two of spades, eight of spades, jack of spades. That's what? 12? No, 11 spades. That's 11 spades. I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. So, yeah, that's this. I like this. And it's interesting that the moon is the last card that came out. Because the moon was one of the first cards that came out. And it came out with the sun. I don't know where this cough is coming from. I come home and both of my parents are sick. I'm like, I should have stayed where I was. But nobody's sick over there. The moon was here while the sun was getting us to look in a different direction. But again, not everything that obscures the dark is the light. Because sometimes the dark is the divine. The moon is a divine darkness. And if something comes in trying to obscure the dark, you may miss out on the very thing that is the gateway to returning what was missing or what has been lost within you. But the divine, I feel like the divine doesn't really force itself upon us. The Hierophant might try to force itself and its beliefs upon you, but the divine won't. The divine doesn't have to because it's always speaking. You can never not be connected to the divine. Like, hello? But you can be convinced that you are, I guess. And then you can buy someone else's, brand of connection. I don't know. But I feel like that's where I'm going to leave this one. I'm actually going to, well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just like go to bed. Because I feel like that ended up where I needed it to. Not where I needed it to, but that ended up where it feels like it felt good. If everything was in reverse, how did this come out upright? This two of diamonds, a force. See, and it what had to be the only card upright, the forced uprising and the ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered upright. Everything else from the deck was in reverse. And then that jack of spades came out upright at the end. I thought it was going to be a two-step journey. I thought it was going to be a two-step process. It ended up being three, which is fine. I mean, after I saw the Lord of the Lord of Swords and the Ebony Shield, I was like, "Oh snap, we got it!" But apparently not, which is fine. But again, it's like we trade in one understanding for another. Hopefully, we trade in what is more juvenile for what is more evolved, and then we take that evolution a step further. Here's the star. There's the star and the moon. The star comes out after the moon again, and then there's judgment. Judgment is lying behind the star, the healer. Ooh, the healer and judgment. Ooh, okay. Let's get a final message for this video. I may come back. I may not. I don't know. Final message. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's face down. Oh. Oh, bread of life. Ace of Pentacles. Well, what's this? This is Jupiter and Leo. Bread of life and the champion. This is an overcoming of all earthly challenges. This is us elevating into a space where we are completely separate from the earth. And it's not that we're not connected to the element of Earth. It's not that we're not connected to Gaia and the people on Earth. It's us in a space. We're no longer tempted. We're no longer challenged. We're no longer swayed or discouraged because of what happens in our physical experience. It's an elevation into a higher knowing, signified by the keeper at the bottom of the deck. There are three fools in this deck: the initiate, the seeker, and the keeper. The keeper is the one who, again, has made her way through the major arcana from the magician to the world, who has learned and grown and evolved and incorporated what she needed to at every step to become this awakened fool, to receive all of these gifts from spirit and be recognized by the annealer. That's why she's not in that space anymore. That's how she's able to see things from a different viewpoint, vantage point, and perspective. And look, it almost looks like it could be the same guru. I mean, they both wearing a head covering, so maybe not. But and again, that's that energy that like Pinamue and the necromancer sort of carried. At the end of that curfew, the return of Barakiel. Oh, and we only got like 2.5 months ish of Blue Lunar Storm left. The return of the Angel of Lightning. Or the rebirth of the Angel of Lightning. Oh, look, there's a little pony here. There's a little pony there. I feel like that little pony is symbolic of the Knight of Wands in some way. It also reminds me of the Rook chess piece. The Rook is the stronghold of the flame. Oh, and the Archangel of Healing is behind the Seeker, by the way. So healing done. Like, I know, like, we're human and we're never completely healed, but again, when we come into this space, anything earthly, healing effectively done. You buffered strong. My policy here is that if I buffer and anything is missed, then it wasn't meant to be heard. Because I'm not fighting the buffer. Or it's meant to be discovered. All right? We can't get all the answers. I just saw the angel, by the way. I saw the angel before the Eight of Swords, so she's free now. She is free to roam about the cabin. Where is the stronghold of the flame? Hello? Literally the last one. Girl, where you at? Where you at, girl? Where you at? Girl, where you at? Girl, where you at? Where you at? Where is she at? Can somebody tell me where the stronghold of the flame is, please? Literally at the top of the deck. Literally at the top of the deck. I flipped from bottom to top. I'm like, did I overlook this card? So the three cards at the top of the deck, literally sitting behind the Six of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, with the little horse reminded me of the Brook. And here's the wand energy with the Rook chess piece. It came out with the Seven of Wands and Sacred Cinnabar, Ace of Swords. There's our Ace of Swords again. This Ace of Swords has a crown that is that close to the hill. The Ace of Swords in the deck that I used yesterday, in the Weaver Tarot, it sits on a bubble above the sword. This is the integration of that knowledge to the point where we can really use it. Or it's a lot easier for us to use here than it is here, because this is where the hand goes on the sword, right? It's like you can receive a download and not know what it means or not know how to use it and apply it in your life. But it's coming out with the Dark Horse. And it's the Dark Horse because even in a space of disadvantage, again, no matter what the world throws at us, we don't budge. Our ethics, our morality, our principles are intact. And that's observed by the divine. No matter how dark things get, we don't sacrifice the space that we've created and cultivated. And it's like not getting down in the mud to mess with pigs. Like yeah, we don't do that anymore. We've already claimed victory over this space. Like we ain't got to do that anymore. It was noticed and observed. Again, the pages in this deck, sometimes they watch and they look out and they report to the kings and queens. They report to the archangels. And we just saw again behind the keeper. Ooh, behind the keeper, we saw that page of cups that was out looking, watching when the gateway of the necromancer was opening and allowing whatever has long since been sealed to be released and returned. It's because the archangel of healing gave permission for that to happen. And now it's coming with the Ace of Swords. And it's the Ace of Swords in a way that we can really use it. And it's a protected knowledge. It's like, even if it's like you can't really cheat this, even if you get it, it's like real life isn't a test, right? Real life is something that we do, it's something that we live, it's something that we experience. And just because you know what to do in a situation doesn't mean that you're capable, able, willing to do it when the situation actually arises, right? That's why we got the Six of Wands here. Like this is it's a space of recognition of achievement. She got a whole wand in her knee, like hello. And this ain't that Rumpelstiltskin type of wand in the knee, right? And once upon a time, Rumpelstiltskin was scared to fight. And so what he did was he maimed himself so he would be sent home. Now, usually when a soldier comes home with a wound, you praise them for their courage and for their bravery. But everybody found out that Rumpelstiltskin did it to himself so that he didn't have to fight. And then he was branded a coward. And then he inherited the powers of the Dark One and stuff like that. And then he was cursed. It's like, girl, he's like, oh, like, I bet y'all won't make fun of me now. It's like, girl, well, you're still a coward at the end of the day. Now you're a coward with some shady magic and you're cursed. So, congratulations, I guess. It's like one of those weird flex, but all right, works, sis. Types of things. Let's see what the mystical dreams. Ooh. The energy on his hands twice. Wait. Buffer is the fill in the blank portion for each individual experience. Exactly. That's what I say. That's the high priestess interrupting, like, oh, nope. Don't tell them that. Not yet. They got to find that part out. And again, it reminds me of the Oracle in the Matrix when she's like, even if I told you, like, I could have told you that you were the one, but it wouldn't have helped you. It wouldn't have benefited. Like, what good would it have done Neo to believe that he was the one? He would have got shot and died at the end of the first movie. He's like, but I can't die. I'm supposed to be the one. He had to become the one. It's something that you have to do and experience. You got to become it. You ain't just granting it. I don't know. All right, this is a deck I actually got to split in half, so I'll do two more. Oh, who is this? Oh, the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles again. Look at that. Are those Jagaimos? Potatoes? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, lamb, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes. You name it. I'm sorry. Woo! Bottom of the deck is the sorcerer. Again. See, this feels like an energy that will provide, that is providing. And it feels, oh, I was watching Left Behind. And I ain't trying to give no spoilers, but at some point in the movie, a car exploded. Now there was an old little drunk lady. She was like, "Can I get $1? Just $1, please. Like, don't tell me you ain't got $1 for an old lady." She's like harassing this dude. "Give me $1. Give me $1." But because she did that, he didn't get in the car when it exploded. And then they panned over to her, and I'm like, low key, like, was she an angel? Like, was she an angel looking out for him? Because it was important for him to do what he needed to do later. And he eventually went to God. It took a little bit of convincing, but he eventually went to God. And I was like, was she an angel that just saved this man's life by begging for that dollar? That's what this reminds me of. It's like when the divine comes to us in a way that we don't expect, or when the divine comes to us, or an angel comes to us in like street clothes, or when they look like a beggar or somebody that we would just disregard. But it's like your kindness did not go unnoticed. Like, you didn't know who I am, but I mean, you got the right one today, and you did the right thing. You made the right choice. And again, that's the energy of all of these little strongholds, all these little pages down here looking out and reporting back to the archangels. The sorcerer and the lady of cups. Well, here's the two of pentacles right there. Now she looked like she in distress. It feels like this lady of cups is refusing something. So this is like, oh, I already got one. Like, no thanks, I'm good energy. But it's to receive or to offer here. It feels like that's how I feel like a lot of times we can blame other people. We can blame our situations and in our circumstances, but it's like quite literally free to be a decent person, right? You don't have to be rich to be a decent person. You don't have to be a lot of things to be a decent. You don't have to have much of anything to give. And a lot of the stories, it's the people who have the least that are the only ones who are willing to give to the less fortunate. And it's the angels, it's a God in disguise. And then their generosity is blessed. There was also an energy of like the cup that never empties, the pot that never empties. As they serve the divine, as they give what little they have, it's replenished. But sorcerer will convince you, devil energy will convince you, oh, you gotta look out for yourself first. Like, I don't even have enough for me, so I can't. And it's not to be selfless to the point where we can't sustain ourselves, but oh, look, the dream angel. Star energy again. The dream angel is free. The other angel was locked behind those Eight of Swords bars. So that it carries an energy of like things that are removed. And if something is removed, it can be hard to recognize and see it when it comes in. Or things that happen in roundabout ways are in ways that we don't expect. It's not that the divine isn't helping. They may not be doing everything for us in the way that we can recognize that it's all being done for us, right? Or they may require us to do something. And then the bottom of the deck over here is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is an energy of reciprocity. It's a like energy. So if you're greedy and selfish and stingy, then you'll be met with the like. If you're selfless and giving and upright and things of that, then you'll be met with the like. I don't know. Late night Patrick, early Patrick, midday Patrick, just woke up from a nap Patrick. I'm just playing. I do. I kind of get a little whatever. Homeless people being the closest things to angels are actual angels. Yeah. People can be messengers like yeah. And I feel like honestly though, at first I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool that like, you can meet this random person and they give you a message or like they confirm the synchronicity." But then low-key, I was like, "Isn't that a little creepy?" Like that's a little creepy that like somebody could just say something and it means something. I'm like, "Oh, hold up, Divine just out here using folks. Excuse me." I was like, "Was that you?" But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It ain't creepy. Not maybe creepy wasn't the right word. Astonishing, intriguing, surprising, catch you off guard a little bit. This might be like the closer Patrick. This is a little less filtered Patrick, a little bit. This is the Patrick that ain't got to be as hot and fiery. The Empress and the Four of Pentacles, similar colors again. It's a choice. Being open, being vulnerable, being abundant is a choice. Being abundant is the consequence, the repercussion to maybe a few choices. But let's see. Final message. Ooh, from the witches. Oh, look, we get the Two of Cups again. The Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. But the Two of Cups is here. Again, with the Two of Cups, though, it's an energy of receptivity. So if you're putting in Five of Wands, Nine of Swords, Ten of Wands, you may get more. Five of Wands, Two of Swords, Five of Wands, Nine of Swords, Ten of Wands. And it's like there's too much chaos here. There's too much despair here. And this energy is too overburdened to receive this. Like, none of these cards have the room to receive this. None of these cards have the space to receive this. None of these cards are positioned to receive this. I don't even know if any of these cards would recognize this when it happens. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands, though. Mm. Oh, this is a. So we have the Star, the Moon, and the Four of Wands. The Moon and the Four of Wands came out together in that last round. Yeah, I mean, I do too. You're fine, D. I do too, but like in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is starting to get a little creepy, low key. Like, excuse me. Now I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'm used to it. Like, girl, like I watched Pick a Door reading earlier, and literally from like the top to the bottom was all synchronicities. I'm like, oh my gosh, like even the dry feet. I was like, oh, don't call me out like that. I put socks on. That's why I don't lotion my feet sometimes. Okay. Ain't nobody gonna see them. I don't wear open toed things. If I did, I put on lotion. But sometimes I walk out the house with ashy legs. So is that a lie? I don't know. Uh, it's fine. I'm gonna do better. um, but behind this energy is the Three of Swords. It's like there's like this back and forth energy. It's like, oh, ooh, that's rough. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Well, that could go either way. This is pretty good. That's pretty good. That's rough. That's interesting. This is a little difficult. That's oh, those are pretty good. It requires something. That's pretty good. That's really good. Pretty good. Rough. Depending. Anyway, it's a little bit of an energy of like those who have eyes to see will see, those who have ears to hear will hear, and those who have the courage to speak will have their requests made manifest. But for those who continue to harbor and hang on to heartbreak, who can't let it go for the life of them, they're not in a position to see, recognize, accept, nurture, be in this. It's a little sad. Yeah, it's a little sad, but you can't do work. You can't do anybody else work. This ain't like a test in school where you like, yeah, pop your head up and you push your eyes over to the side and see what somebody else is writing on their paper. Because again, life isn't a test. It's lived. It's an experience. It's something that you have to perform. And you can know what to say, you can know what to think and how to feel, but in the moment, when it's go time, that's what actually matters. And that's when the truth will out. Yeah, no problem. I know. I was like, see, if I don't comment about it, if I don't talk about it, ain't nobody gonna know I'm walking around with ashy feet in my shoes. But I was like, oh, girl, what's all this? Oh, I just, please, no, stop. I ain't trying to lose no more angels. I just found Pinamue. Who is this? Get off the floor. It's Cambiel, Angel of Aquarius. Hmm. I'm not going to take, I'll note these cards. So we got Advakiel, Angel of Sagittarius, again, Barkiel, Angel of Pisces, Aziraphale, Angel of Song, Pinamue, Angel of Written Word, Malahidel, Angel of Aries, Angel of Taurus, Asmodel, and Tamiel, Angel of the Unseen. Saw 33.3 on your dashboard. Hey, here we go. Sandalphine, Angel of New Life is at the top. I'm going to shuffle this a little bit more because some of those cards I already saw together and, just going to bust them up a little bit. Come on, intermingle with each other, work with somebody new, talk with somebody new. You got more than just two classmates. And we're ending with Turiel, Angel of the Mountain, with Asbiel, Angel of Ruin at the bottom of the deck. Rasta Twist looking crazy sometimes. People probably assume that when I'm wearing my little hair thing, that it's a mess under there. But, I'm fine. It's part of my aesthetic. So we got the tail end of that angel again. Cambiel, Azazel, Turiel. The Angel of Aquarius talks about sacrifice, I think. Yeah. To enrich those around us, we sacrifice a little piece of ourselves, pouring out our hearts in the hope that another vessel will take a drop of it with them. And then here's the Angel of Sacrifice. Again, it goes back to maybe it was Aries. It's like, are we willing to sacrifice the right things? Because here's the Angel of Sacrifice, but his sacrifice ain't Cambiel's sacrifice. He ain't sacrificing his heart for nobody. He ain't sacrificing anything to make anybody else any better. What he'll sacrifice is humanity. He'll sacrifice his humanity. He'll sacrifice his compassion. He'll sacrifice that little piece of the divine that he has that makes him give an F about somebody else so that he can advance his own agenda and so that he can move his own life forward. And that's kind of sort of what led us to the mess in the first place. And then here's Turiel, Angel of the Mountain. With that snake, that's the red snake. That's all we gonna look at is the red snake. I feel like that's an energy of the divine. This is the rising of the divinity within us. After we start, when we start sacrificing the right things, basically. You bought 30 roses today. Oh, snap. You've been looking rough under these hats and the mask. I'm not pulling cards, Zelda. Sorry. Not today. I want to go to a spa. I've been wanting to go to a spa at least since like 2016. It still ain't happened. I was supposed to go with a bunch of dudes on my floor, but they were like, "Ooh, Patrick, I don't know about the spa. Like, why girls do that?" I'm like, so when I say dudes on my floor, it was like the one dude on my floor who said that he would go with me. Everybody else was like, "Oh no, like we don't want to do that." I'm like, "Why not? We got to take care of ourselves too." I had a hand scrub one time. My hands felt like somebody else's hands. I was like, "What?" I was obsessed with my hands for like 2 days because they didn't feel like mine. I was like, "Oh my gosh, my hands have never been this moisturized and smooth. Like, what is this?" And the my roommate, the one I was staying with at the time, he was like, "These are women hands," because he got a hand scrub too. Oh, all right, Diceology. Final message from Diceology. Last deck on the table. Nine of Diamonds, an accurate depiction, a true to life tale, liquid light that carves its way through night. Mm. And we got the sun and the moon in this card too. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Clubs. There's that Four of Wands again. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle, and a sacred vessel. A sacred vessel, liquid light that carves its way through night. On a cruise? I don't know about cruises. Oof. Exactly. That's what I say. Let's learn how to treat ourselves, fellas. See this for me. Oh, and then the Four of Diamonds, Four of Clubs, Four of Diamonds. Dawn before the first day of a new world, an old earth passed away in a breathtaking sight. These two, to me, it's a 13, but there's more diamonds than clubs. This is the energy of the necromancer with that Page of Cups. This is the return of that thing. Or it's an energy of the Ace of Swords. That was us really beginning to understand. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle, a sacred vessel, an accurate depiction, inaccurate, not inaccurate, and accurate depiction, a true to life tale, liquid light that carves its way through night. It feels like a circuit that's being um, created. It's almost like a constellation that's being born, but with the energy of a circuit, it powers something. And I've been on here for like an hour and 40 minutes, so I probably ain't gonna be. Never been on a cruise either. I am. The spas are the bomb. If I go on a cruise, I'll go to the spa. You're doing home spa. Ooh, an imagination. I had a speaker with one of my old friends. I had a speaker and I had noises on the Relax Melodies app. And we got in these comfy chairs. I put the speaker on blast and we just played the music, closed our eyes, and pretended to be on vacation. It was pretty good. It was pretty chill. Your son's been on a cruise before you. What? On a Disney cruise? See, I didn't seen Titanic. I didn't seen Ghost Ship. That's a fear that I need to release. But at this point, I'm like, well, there are other things that I can do. But if I find myself on a cruise, I'll definitely check out the spot. But that's what I got. This was something. I hope y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. It was nice to see you all. And with that, it's sufficiently late enough for me to begin winding down. He went to Cuba, said it was wonderful. I think one of I was going to say friends, somebody I know from school, he's a model. I think he went to Cuba. More states than you, too. What is this? Sometimes the kids got to do it and then it work its way up the tree. I do some stuff and then I'm like, Mom, we got to do this. So it'd be like that sometimes. That's why I'm not going to have kids. I'm just playing. I will. I'll encourage my kids. Like, go out there, let me know what's cool. And you know me. So, like, if it's cool for you, but I wouldn't like it, then, like, maybe don't tell me about that one. But if it's a cool place that you go to that I'll appreciate, then, like, let me know. Because I ain't trying to be uncomfortable. I got too much Taurus in me. I'm just playing. All right. No problem. I'll catch y'all later. Bye bye.